Hello and welcome to the Gfinity Arena in London for the V10 R-League and the final round of group stage action. 10 teams started the competition with hopes of reaching the grand final in Abu Dhabi. After 4 enthralling rounds of racing, still no one is guaranteed their spot in finals week. But what is certain is that both teams in our first match today want to be racing on the stunning Yas Island on July 22nd.
Everybody feel it come around with round with round. Everybody feel it come around with round with round. Everybody feel it come around with round with round. Everybody round with round with round. Oh yeah! Everybody in the pump. Everybody in the pump.
Yeah, boy. Wow, something to really get excited about for our teams this afternoon. Going there, it's going to be epic. 4 teams will be travelling to the grand finals, the 2 group winners plus the winners of the 2 wildcard matches set to take place tomorrow. Now, whilst neither Aston Martin or Fordzilla can get that automatic qualification spot, they can still make it into the wildcard with a win today. And by now, all of you at home should know the race and match format. 4 races across 2 tracks. The relay races, where the drivers race 1v1, followed by the team sprints, with all 6 cars racing each other over 5 laps. And you should also know by now my guests, as once again I'm joined by Hayden Gullis, and back after a break it's Steph Wentworth. Hear the roar of the crowd here in the arena. Steph, great to have you back.
Great to be here.
You've been travelling, you were in Indonesia for the Max GP, and then you were in Silverstone. You've been very, very busy.
Yeah, I've been left, right and centre, but nothing quite compares to coming back to Gfinity.
I know.
And being back with you guys for this new last round of the V10 R-League, of the team round.
Yeah, well, it's going to be very exciting to have you. And this guy next to you, Steph, I don't know if he's gone on about it, but he was part of the F1 Content Creator Champion of Event 1. Came second in the end, so he was technically the first loser. But just showing how good he is on the Sims. Hayden Gullis, welcome back.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be on this show. I'm really excited about more of V10 action, but yeah, you know, it was a good show last time out, you know, getting that race win under my belt. So now I can officially say I'm an experienced esportser and be giving more knowledge to this show.
Yeah, he was really good, Steph.
Wow, I'm proud of you.
He was really good.
Good
So he's going to be giving some analysis throughout the day. Let's just have a recap then of last time we were here in the Gfinity Arena. We had Aston Martin. They got that 2-1 victory against Mercedes. A bit of a turn up for the books. We didn't expect it, knowing how strong Mercedes are, Hayden, but it was fantastic to watch and really gave them a chance to get to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, it was a great show from the Aston Martin team, although I do think they will be disappointed by the result. OK, they beat Mercedes 2-1, who are one of these insane teams, but there was the chance for it to be 3-1. They messed up in the final team race in the Yas Marina circuit, and they could have been going into this event today already guaranteed in the wildcard slot. So, but they've got it all to do today. Team Fordzilla, though, are going to be no slouches.
No slouches. I like that. Steph, although you weren't here, it's been exciting to see those guys, Aston Martin. Manuel Biancalida has been incredible. Do you take on board Hayden's sort of explanation that they would be a little bit annoyed they didn't manage to kind of cement that place already?
Oh, absolutely. Especially driving or doing this esports at this really top level. These guys are very hard on themselves. They're perfectionists through and through. And so when you don't perform how you want to perform, it's obviously going to be a little bit disappointing. But like you said, we're going to be in for a very exciting race today.
We are. Fordzilla, on the other hand, different fortunes for them. 3 losses on the bounce, and yet they could still, mathematically, if everything, they've got an outside chance, goes their way. They've had a 4-0 loss twice, and then they had a 3-1 loss last week to Red Bull, who needed to win to give themselves a chance. But what have you made of their season so far, Fordzilla?
You know, it's been disappointing to have the 3 losses off the back, but this is the V10 R-League series. Anything can happen. This is why, you know, you can't go into any match and just think this is going to be a breeze. You've got to go up against the people that are ahead of you, and you've got to go and beat them. So Team Fordzilla, they can get a 4-0 sweep, 1, 2 and 3 in all the team races, and they're through to the wild card, and no one would have seen that coming.
No, but it is difficult for them. They had to get a 4-0 win, and they haven't even had a win so far this season, as you can see on the Group B standings. They've just got 1 point down there But as you can see, in third place, Aston Martin trying to make sure they go and confirmed for the wild card tomorrow. So fixtures for today. You need to stick around with us all day. I mean, we have little breaks where we have a little, cup of tea, something to eat, a little snack, and then we come back again. That's what we want you to do, because after this match, we've got R8G Esports versus Williams Esports, then Yas Heat versus BMW, and then that biggie right at the end, Mercedes Team Redline. Any matchups stand out for you if you were just to have a look at them right now, Steph?
Ooh, well, the final matchup between Mercedes and Redline, that's where it's really at, with both of them fighting for that automatic qualification spot to go straight to Abu Dhabi and not have to bother with the wildcards tomorrow, because that would be ideal for them as a team. So that's really the one that we're going to watch. But it's all right, this one's going to be just as exciting.
Oh, okay. I like what you've done there. You've just saved, we're all just going, it's going to be a long wait till 8:30, but it's not. But when you have that sort of moment where if you can make sure you get through and don't have to come back tomorrow, that must be a nice feeling for those guys.
Definitely, and that's what's going to help out the teams like Mercedes and Team Redline, that they're going into this match, and it's okay, there is still a lot on the line. It's between the two of them, really, for who can get that automatic spot, and they don't want to come back tomorrow and then do another event, because, like I say, it's very easy for a team to get the better of you. Look at Aston Martin versus Mercedes last time out. No one expected that, but Aston Martin to the victory. Imagine if that happens in the wildcard.
Yeah, now, the lineup for Aston Martin, I said we didn't expect them to beat Mercedes. They did. It was 2-1. It was very much a team effort, but Manuel Biancalila, what a drive from that guy. A couple of wins as well, from P4 quali to get a win as well. What's impressed you most about Manuel so far?
I think that he can step into that team leader role. With the teams that are doing well in this series, you need one driver who is up the front, and then you need another driver who is at least in 4th position. So Biancalila is doing that job to get into the lead, and he's batting with some great esports drivers as well, and he's really putting down a name for himself at the moment. So
and he knows where to cut the corners.
He knows
as well,
where to cut the corners.
He's following
as well.
in your footsteps.
I don't know what you're on about. I would never cut a corner, Mr. Tom Deacon. But yeah, some great action, and getting his elbows out as well, not being bullied on the racetrack too.
Yeah. Now, Fordzilla. We discussed this before we came on air and went live, and that is missed opportunities against Red Bull. They lost 3-1, but it could have been a different story. It seemed like the pit lane. We've mentioned it so many times in the team relay. It sort of let them down, Team Fordzilla, didn't it, Hayden?
Yeah, it did, because there's a little tactic a lot of teams like to do where they reverse out of the pit lane to get a straight run, and that's not what Team Fordzilla did. And instead of going literally flat on the throttle out of the pit lane, they had to move around. If you've driven any of these cars before, you know that if you're having to steer as you're starting a car, you're going to lose the traction, so you can't get back to full throttle as quickly as you want. Whereas Team Red Bull were just on it from the start there, and that's how they gained that point. And it was unfortunate for them, but it's something they're going to learn if they go to the Yas Marina circuit again.
And they're going to have it nailed because they need a 4-0 win here. Steph, I want to talk to you about the picks and bans. You haven't been here for a while. Which tracks are you hoping for today?
Oh, well, you know what? Silverstone is a very popular one. We've seen that time and time again. We've seen Monza. There you go. And you can see Team Fordzilla have gone for Silverstone. And also Spa. That's a very popular one. I think these are the two most prominent tracks that we've seen throughout the championship.
Yes. Now, I have some data in front of me, which I wrote down with my very fair hand. I don't know what that means. But yes, Silverstone has been picked, so Spa. And I look here, Aston Martin have not raced at Silverstone so far. Do you think maybe that's why Fordzilla have made them race on Silverstone?
I think so. You want to try and get every advantage that you possibly can. These teams are going to practice every circuit on the grid, but they're going to practice Spa-Francorchamps, which Aston Martin have chosen a little bit more than the others, but I'm sure they're going to come prepared.
Okay, all right, guys, just put you on a spot, Steph, quickly before we go to a break, and I want it to be teased.
Okay.
Who's the underdog here? We would say Team Fordzilla, but can they get that win? I'm going to put you on a spot. I don't know why I'm pointing as well, but I'm doing it.
Yes, I'm full of positivity today. Go on, Fordzilla.
All right, okay, I'll get your thoughts on this, Hayden, when we come back after a very quick break. Welcome back to the V10R League. We are just moments away from our first race of the day. I'm joined by Steph Wentworth, Hayden Gullis, and of course, I'm Tom Deacon. I don't know why I needed to say that, but I felt like it was necessary because it's going to be a long day of beautiful racing. This race, I asked Steph, just before we went to the break, Hayden, who she thinks is going to win. Team Fordzilla, she reckons have got a chance. What says you, sir?
Look, Aston Martin, they're the ones on top. I think it's probably going to be them. But there's that little hope, that Team Fordzilla can overcome this mountain and get themselves through.
Oh, I like the optimism today. I can't personally see it. And even if Team Fordzilla do manage to get there, they've lost the last 3 races. Did they deserve to be making it to the wild card? I know that sounds harsh, but look,
Maybe
I'm going to start the day.
sandbags on. The sandbags are finally coming off, and they've been hustling us this whole time.
Yeah, it could happen. They're great lineup. Emre Cian, Peo Pive, Sean Arnold going to have to pull it out the bag. But on the other hand, you've got Simon Weigand, Alejandro Sanchez, a lot of experience there, and Manuel Biancalila. What do we need to know about the relay race, Steph? They're going to have to make that pit. Is it important the best driver goes for the Joker lap twice round?
Well, I think the best way to do it is to get inside your opponent's head.
Mind
and
games.
Play a bit of
I knew
head
she'd
games.
say this.
And we're about to get started. Hayden, take it away.
Yep, the lights are on, the engine's revving, and we are going racing here in Silverstone for the team relay races. Aston Martin versus Team Fordzilla, and Aston Martin get the jump as they head down in towards turn 1. Emre Cian is going to have to be catching up that car, trying to see if he can, try and go for an overtake. There's a great overtaking opportunity out of this corner all the way down into the Wellington Straight, but he's got Manuel Biancalila ahead of him. He has been the leader for the Aston Martin team. They head down now the Wellington Straight in towards Brooklands, and Biancalila is now extending that gap about 4 tenths of a second at the time being. It'll be interesting to see which one of these go for the Joker. Usually it's Biancalila, but it's also usually Cheyenne as well. So will they both go for the Joker lap?
It will be very interesting to see, and then it's going to be all to play for. Who can do the pit stops the best? Who can get out and get the lead? Will Fordzilla behind be able to get the jump on them? And it looks like, as we're heading through Maggott and Beckett, it looks like that Biancalila is extending that gap, and Sihan is just slipping back and back.
A great set of corners, Maggots and Beckett's. I went to go watch an F1 car go fast through there, and unfortunately it rained when I sat in that grandstand.
No.
So yeah, I didn't even get to see it go
No
fast.
rain
but
today.
These cars are flying through those corners right now. We got Biancalila though leading the way, both drivers doing the Joker lap. So I'm not too sure if that's the right tactic there, because usually you want to try and jump, and it just seems that Cheyenne going to lose even more time now to Biancalila. But maybe if Cheyenne is the quicker of the drivers from Team Fordzilla, this is their best chance to try and keep as close as possible to that Aston Martin team and maybe be a bit lucky in the pit stop phase.
Oh, I'd love very much if that was the case, but it does seem like the gap is just extending and extending between the two of them right now. Just over a second right now. It keeps dipping below and above the second gap. So I may say that Fordzilla could have missed a trick there by just trying to do something a little bit different. I mean, the margins between these drivers are so fine as we ride on board with Cheyenne right now. And you can see he is edging a little bit closer, but I do feel that Fordzilla have lost that momentum that they could possibly have got by pitting Cheyenne first.
Yeah, gained about 2 tenths of a second in that first sector there. Whether he was using the push-to-pass button, which gives you an extra 80 brake horsepower that you can use for over 20 seconds in the lap. Now heading through the right-hander in towards the left of Chapel now onto the Hanger Straight, just on the cusp of that 1 second gap between the two cars at the moment. Flying through Stowe now, and we're going to be expecting to see both drivers come into the pits, because there's no need to serve a Joker if they do carry on, and they've made a huge blunder. But no, both drivers get themselves into the pit lane, and it is the Aston Martin team who are currently on top. When it comes to pit stops, there's a 70-second window that they must fit in. So as soon as they cross that pit lane line, that timer starts. They get themselves into the box, then they have to get onto their comms, tell their teammate that they are out of the car. Their teammate then has to jump back in the car, and then they have to time that to perfection of when they leave the garage. If they go too early, they will get a 3-second time penalty added on to whatever time they jumped it by. So there is a lot on the line in these pit stops. It's all about making it as precise as possible and getting as close to that 70 seconds as you can.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for taking us through that as well, because this 70 seconds can feel like a very long time. time. And you get a bit confused. What are the drivers doing during this time? Why can't they just go straight out? And you were talking a little bit before about the drivers reversing in order to get the best start once they're allowed out of the pit lane. Do you see which one? Do you think one of these drivers is going to go for that kind of move?
It's an easier pit lane exit here at Silverstone, but it does kind of go to the right. So you want to be in that fast lane to make that move over to the right as easier as possible. But when you release the limiter, it's actually a little bit further. It's actually right here. So it's a little bit further on the pit lane compared to what it is like in real life. But both of them seem to get it right. And Aston Martin have got an even bigger jump. So gained about 0.8 of a second there in the pit stop phase, showing that they have got it either spot on or maybe have gone too early. Who knows? We'll have to wait on that. But I'm sure that they have got it absolutely spot on. And Team Fordzilla have an even bigger mountain to climb. But there are still 2 full laps left to go, and everything and anything can happen in the V10R League.
Absolutely, and we've still got another pit stop to go. You have no idea what could potentially happen during the next one, but it does look like Aston Martin have that momentum, and I feel like momentum is something that I'm going to talk about quite frequently today, because it just seems like all of the momentum is with Aston Martin at the minute, as we can see Sean Arnold of Team Fordzilla is just slipping back and a little bit further. The gap is just extended to over 2 seconds now.
Yeah, if they want to get those sandbags off, they need to do it right now, because it's a 2.1 second gap that they're both going to need to try and catch up, Arnold and then also Peo Pieve, who will be getting into the car next. Alejandro Sanchez pits for Team Aston Martin, so does Arnold for Team Fordzilla. And now the clock starts once again. Remember, they've got to be as precise as possible so they don't get any penalties. One of the longest and slowest pit lanes is Silverstone. It always just seems to go on for an absolute eternity, but they'll be able to spot in a moment their pit guys and their pit boxes where they come into the pits and just stop, park up, then on the comms, chat to their teammates. And for Team Fordzilla, I don't know really what they're going to be chatting about, because they're going to really need to pull some sort of tactic out of the bag to take this victory.
Absolutely. Or they're going to be hoping and praying that something is going wrong in that Aston Martin garage right now, hypothetical garage, as they're on top of things. Look, Simon Weigang is ready to go as soon as they have that signal that says, woo,
yeah,
time to head off. And Simon Weigang is very quick over 1 lap, so it's not looking good for Fordzilla right now.
It's not. Interesting to note that Simon Weigang actually reversed a little bit out of his pit box, so giving himself a bit of a run-up as he heads out of the pits. Of course, it's a bit easier. It's not like you're straight onto max speed as you come out of the pit lane, as here goes Team Fordzilla, Peo Pieve in the car now. Simon Weigang, though, up the road a little bit further, seem to have got it right as well. No mistakes in the pit stop phase, 2.8 seconds now the gap. So again, the Aston Martin team just a lot better when it comes to making a pit stop, and now that gap is up to 3 seconds. And unfortunately, it is looking like it is job done for Team Fordzilla. Or is something going to happen on this last lap?
Who knows? Who knows? I mean, both of the drivers are on very, very clean laps. As you can see, we're kind of following Peo Pieve at the minute. We're not really seeing Simon Weigang because he's so far up the road now, 3 seconds. But it's looking like a very, very clean lap from Peo Pieve. He's doing everything he could possibly do as we head down the old pit straight. But Simon Weigang just looks absolutely in control of his Aston Martin right now. As we go through Maggots and Beckett's again, and then we head out through Chapel and down the Hangar Straight. Great overtaking opportunity going into Stowe. I'm not sure Peo Pieve is going to be close enough to make it stick.
He's not. Look at Simon Weigang in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. So calm and composed, and we got to see a glimpse of Peo Pieve's back of his head as he was in the bottom left. But we got Simon Weigang now coming through the last couple of corners. It's a 3-second gap. I'm sure he can just chill through the Vale chicane and into Club Corner. Around the final corner now, Simon Weigang takes victory for the Aston Martin team. And as it stands, Aston Martin have got the wild card. But they don't want to stop right there. They want to try and overtake the other teams if they can and get the most points possible out of this race. Heading back to you, Tom Deacon.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Hayden Gullis, and to Steph Wentworth. That point, if it sticks, Aston Martin have guaranteed themselves a place in the wild card. They will be racing tomorrow. That is guaranteeing them that wild card point and place. I'm absolutely flummoxed. There's the word I'm using today, flummoxed, as to why they both, Emre Sian and Biancalillo, both did the Joker lap there. You've got to change the tactics. That's what I feel like. Maybe you're watching right now thinking, why didn't they do something different? Because they just clearly didn't have that pace. Manuel Biancalillo proving he is and has been in some top form in the V10 R League. He's a bit of a rapscallion, is Manuel Biancalillo. He can do everything in the V10 R League. Can't play table tennis.
Can he not?
No, I played against him last week. I even went left-handed to give him a chance.
Wow.
And that's a little bit of arrogance there for me. But a top guy. It was a fantastic start from Aston Martin, and they never really looked back, did they, Hedin?
Yeah, I think the quality from Biancalillo just shows. He just pulled away, and yeah, I do think maybe they could have changed the tactics because you're going to be getting a little bit of dirty air following the car ahead of you. But maybe Cheyan was the quicker of the three guys, and that's why they went with that. So it was a bit disappointing. But as it stands, unfortunately, Team Fordzilla are going home.
Yeah, I feel nonplussed on that fact, Steph. A little bit like, you know, they haven't really turned up this year. I feel harsh right now when I'm saying, but they haven't. But that just shows they're fantastic drivers. Emre Sian's brilliant. Peo Peeves fantastic. Sean Arnold, they're brilliant. But they're just not at that level. Maybe it's the tactics that went wrong sometimes. The pit lane could be a disaster for some teams. But they've got pride on the line. They could win the next 3 in a row.
They could. Will they?
That's the
Who
question.
knows? But I'm feeling a bit confused. I mean, normally it's me being the cynical one, so I feel like we've swapped roles a little bit. But it would be great to see them come back a little bit and potentially, you know, overrule Aston Martin at their picked track of Spa-Francorchamps. That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, they went with the tactic. Look, Aston Martin haven't raced, they haven't had a competitive race yet on Silverstone. And I tell you what, Aston Martin looked just very calm and controlled and just like they were at home, really, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's only down the road for them, isn't it?
Yeah, it is their home track.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those tracks they haven't been to yet, but one of those I'm sure that they just wanted to tick off the list. And, I mean, there's still 3 races left to go. There's still a chance for Fordzilla, like you say, to make it 3-1. But if they do get the victory, then it's, yeah, a tick off the checklist.
We weren't here last week, Steph. You weren't here last week. No one was here, actually. The lights were off in the whole arena. But the thing is, I have missed a bit of the chaos of the team race. Are you expecting, from what you've seen of the driving so far, are we going to see elbows out? Are we going to see a few collisions? Because Team Fordzilla, now they've heard my criticisms, they're going to really want to prove me wrong.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm sure you're the person they really, really want to impress. But no, I think they will be going all out. I mean, you can't let a little thing like losing stop you from winning.
Yeah. Exactly. Thank you very much. Well
You're
put.
welcome.
That's nailed it. Very insightful stuff. I like that. But Hayden, when it comes to the team race, it's a completely different tactic. How do you sort of forget what's just happened and come back ready to do a completely different format?
It is hard to do because, you know, that's always going to be in the back of your mind that they were a little bit quicker, but you just have to put it. You just have to forget about it and just get the job in front of you done. You know, they're going to have to go up against Aston Martin and try and stop Biancalillo because if he's in the lead, then the best they can hope for is a draw. So they need to really go for it.
All right, I hope you're enjoying the action so far. First point goes to Aston Martin. Next up is the team race around Silverstone. Here we are then, the V10 R-League. Great to have you back. We're in the first event of the day, the first matchup, Aston Martin taking on Team Fordzilla. And just to confirm what we have just witnessed, the team relay race, I can confirm Aston Martin, as it appears on the screen, are your winners from that. So they pick up the first point of a maximum of 4. We're now heading to the team race. I felt like I was giving it a bit of gravitas, you know, just building it up there. The team race taking place at Silverstone. This is, I think, for me, I love this. I get to see the teams really go for it. Now, I have been told about the qualifying times, and there was a 3-place grid penalty fired out, Hayden, Steph. I'm excited about this. Simon Weigang was given an unsportsmanlike penalty, had the 3rd fastest lap time. How'd you get one of those, Hayden?
Unsportsmanlike? What has he been doing? Has he been
qualifying as
barging
well.
people off in qualifying? No idea how he's managed to do that. Maybe he just wanted to make it more difficult for them. You know? Fancied a challenge. Last to first question mark challenge.
While you're talking about challenges, Hayden, as we confirm the grid to start this team race, Alejandro Sanchez in pole position, Cian Arnold, Bianca Lila in 4th. Now, if you're thinking, hey, Tom, you were bigging up Bianca Lila but dissing his table tennis skills, yeah, that's right. But in the last race he had against Mercedes, Spa and Abu Dhabi, he had a P4 to start on the grid and ended up winning the race. So, Peo Pieve will be in 5th and Simon Weigang in 6th, with it all to do. But as you see, the delta times, nothing in this, really.
No, literally, like a 1/10 of a second between the top 4, which is great to see how close they're going to be. And hopefully they're going to be just as close in this race. And me and Steph are in for a good one on the comms.
Yeah,
yes, you will. Cian and Arnold, 2nd and 3rd position, they're going to have to attack Sanchez very early on because your team needs to finish first to get the maximum 10 points.
Yeah, but the problem they're going to face is that they have to attack, but they're also going to have to defend because both of the Aston Martin drivers behind are also going to be on the attack. So it's a double-edged sword, really. How do you play the game? Do you attack and then, you know, leave yourself open to being overtaken, or do you defend hard and then go for the attack later?
Yeah, and especially someone like Manuel Biancalila. Simon Weigang with that 3-second penalty. He had the 3rd fastest lap time. Before we go to Silverstone, less than 10 seconds. Is Simon Weigang possibly going to get a win here, Hayden?
We're going to have to wait and see. As the lights are on, the engines are revving, and we go racing. And it is Aston Martin who lead the way from Alejandro Sanchez, and he gets it down in towards turn 1. But Manuel Biancalila has moved himself up onto the podium for the time being in 3rd position. As the Fordzilla car goes right around the outside of Emre Can in towards turn 3. Little snap there from Sanchez as they go through the loop and onto the Wellington straight. Arnold having a slight look up the inside of Biancalila, but now Cheyan right up, tucked behind the slipstream of Sanchez. Did he go for a look up the inside? He did, in towards Brooklands. It's wheel to wheel, got the outside line through Luffield. Can he pull it off? He can't quite get the traction around the outside, and he's going to try and get it as they head down in towards Copse Corner at the moment. Biancalila looks like he's cemented himself into 3rd position and really catching up now to Chehan. Struggled on that one there. But now they head down in towards Maggots and Beckett's, and it is looking like Sanchez is leading the way for Aston Martin.
Oh, well, that was one of the best race starts we've actually seen. No contact, but really hard wheel-to-wheel racing. It was really great, actually, as well. While Biancalila was challenging Sean Arnold ahead, we had Simon Weigang challenging Peo Pieve as well. And the gaps between everyone so close. But as you can see, riding on board with Alejandro Sanchez, you can see that he is already opening up that gap to P2, Emre Cihan. And it looks like he's proper in control, but Cihan is catching up as they go down the main straight and will head towards turn 1. As you can see, that car is just getting ever so close, but it is going to come under attack from Manuel Biancalila as well, who's going to try and make a move around the outside, but doesn't quite make it stick. But this lap, he's going to be completely challenging Emre. He's going to have to work really hard to defend that P2 position.
Yeah, Chehan closing the door then as they head it in towards the loop, but a great exit off the corner for Bianculina. He's up the inside, in towards Brooklands, but Chehan comes back around the outside. Can he stick his nose up in there? He's off the circuit. There's contact between the two of them, which has opened the door for his teammate Arnold, and there's contact now again with Bianculina and POP. POP really unfortunate there, just wrong place, wrong time, but Bianculina dropping down now into 4th position, now has to go on the attack of Chehan once again. Arnold's also in there, but this has worked out fantastically for Alejandro Sanchez, who's pulled out a 1.7 lead. That no matter what happens behind him at the moment, it is looking like a draw because you've got... no, they will get the points because Bianculina is in P4.
Absolutely, and we're going to see a replay now of what just happened there. Oh, but it was just Bianculina trying to make a move around the outside there, get a little bit of contact, and him trying to regain place. That place, he ended up colliding with POP there, who was absolutely just an innocent bystander. Now, nearly 11 seconds behind Simon Weigang in P5, so very unfortunate for POP there.
Yeah, it looks like unless there's a mistake for Aston Martin, they're going to get the point, unless, of course, Arnold can catch up that gap to Sanchez and move himself into the lead of the race. But Bianculina, do you know what? I kind of like that he dropped down a few positions because he's been so aggressive, so fast this season that he can now go on the attack of these two Fordzilla drivers, and hopefully we're going to see some good overtaking. But the gap at the moment, 0.4 of a second between himself and Chehan. We've got Arnold holding up this bunch at the moment. Will there be a little swap between teammates? Is Chehan the faster of the two, and can he go catch up to Sanchez?
Oh, it's all to play for, really. As you can see, what's great about Silverstone is that there are so many overtaking opportunities, so many opportunities to get in the slipstream and close up that gap, and that's what we can see happening with both Chehan and Bianculina as well. And we're going to continue seeing this as we've just gone through Maggots Beckett's Chapel, and we're heading onto the Hangar Straight right now, riding on board with Manuel Bianculina. As you can see, he is closing up that gap. It closed around about 0.2 of a second there, but not close enough to be able to make a move. We're nearly halfway through the this team race here, so it's all to play for. Another 3 laps to go, and Bianculina, will he be able to catch up?
We will have to wait and see. Slight understeer there from Bianculina as he head through Stowe. Just missed the apex of the corner and lost him a little bit of time, so he's now got to try and get that momentum back to go on the attack of Chehan. He is right on the tail of these two drivers, and his teammate Simon Weigang is not too far behind as well, so if these two start to battle, potentially the door will open as well for Weigang to go on the attack too. But Arnold just holding it at the moment. Sanchez, though, 2.1 second lead. The victory is looking almost in the bag. Do not want a commentator's curse him, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens there. But Arnold still in P2. Chehan holding the ground at the moment in 3rd position. Bianculina is going to be looking to try and get that momentum back up and attack these guys ahead of him. Unfortunate there for POP. He's down at the back of the field. 10 seconds, 11 seconds off the pace of P5. It looks like, unfortunately, unless anything crazy happens in this little midfield battle, his race is done. But Bianculina still right on the back of Chehan. Will he get the drive off of Chapel, heading down into Stowe to have an opportunity to overtake using that push to pass button? Maybe, but whilst he's going to be using it, of course, Chehan will be using his one as well. So it's all about strategic placement and uses of that button, but the gap still 0.6 of a second, and it looks like he's actually lost a little bit of time again, so maybe some understeer once more through Stowe, and now Weigang's only 0.2 off him.
And that slight error could possibly have cost him P4 because Simon Weigang is, as you say, right on the back of him and looking a little bit racy. But Bianculina has obviously stepped back into his tight and precise ways, and there was no way edgeways that Simon Weigang is going to get past him at the moment.
Yeah, no need for these two drivers to fight it out too much. All they need to do is get one of themselves in P4. If they were to come together just like we saw in the Yas Marina circuit 2 weeks ago, then of course that would make it a draw and they would not get the points. And okay, they've cemented themselves into the wild card, but they would like to try and jump Mercedes if Mercedes struggle to get any points later on against Team Redline. We've got Bianculina still 0.7 of a second behind Chehan. Not too sure if maybe he got damaged from the incident earlier on with the Fordzilla car, because he's just not really been able to gain, and that pace that he had earlier on in the race just doesn't seem to be there as much, or maybe it's just a little bit of momentum, a few mistakes creeping in here and there, and that's unfortunately what is not allowing him to get himself on the podium.
Yeah, and it's a real shame, but also to the benefit of Team Fordzilla, Sean Arnold and Race Sheehan, both with fantastic starts and are really doing everything that Fordzilla possibly could do, apart from challenging Alejandro Sanchez for the win, because he is pumping out fastest laps. The only driver currently in the 1:27s just set the fastest lap. As we head on to the final lap, and we have Manuel Biancolia still pushing for that P3, but he's 6 tenths behind, and it's looking ever more likely that he's going to remain in P4, and Alejandro is going to carry Aston Martin to the win at the end of this team race.
This is going to be really good for Sanchez. We've been talking so much about Biancolila being that team leader, always at the front, but, you know, when it came to it today, Sanchez was the man who did his job. He got into the front on qualifying. He led from the start. He has led every lap. And as it stands, he is looking like he's going to take victory for the Aston Martin team. Arnold and Sheehan haven't been able to do anything to catch up to them. And Biancolila not really been able to really challenge those Team Fordzilla cars. But he's getting closer as they head through the Maggots and Beckett section now. Sanchez, as we're watching, go down the hangar straight in towards Stowe. Only a few corners left, and that separates him from victory in this Silverstone team race. Can he cement himself the victory, though, through the last couple of corners? No mistakes. Don't get too early on the throttle. You've got 3 seconds advantage. Round the final corner, Aston Martin take victory in Silverstone with Alejandro Sanchez. Arnold will cross the line in second with Sheehan in third. Biancolila could only manage 4th place today with Simon Weigang in 5th. And unfortunately for POP, after that collision, right down at the back of the field. Back to you, Tom Deacon.
Oh, you're too good. Hayden Gullis, thank you very much for passing back to me. I'll tell you what I like about Hayden. Sim racing and the V10R League be his bailiwick. That's a word I just Googled to describe you. When you it's your area of interest, and he does it very well. But the area of interest that we're looking at right now is this Aston Martin team. You saw Manuel Biancolila, Alejandro Sanchez and Simon Weigang. Simon Weigang had the 3-place grid penalty, but was able to finish in 5th. But a great race from start to finish from Alejandro Sanchez. And Team Fordzilla, they did push. They pushed very hard. Sean Arnold and Emre Cihan doing what they needed to do. POP will feel very unlucky with a collision with Biancolila, but just a fantastic race from start to finish. I thoroughly enjoyed that. And I shouldn't have bigged up Manuel Biancolila as much as I did. I feel like that's on me, and I'll take that. It's all about accountability. I did mention how bad he was at table tennis, and that happened at Silverstone. So maybe Silverstone's not his bag, Hayden. Maybe that could be it.
Maybe losing to you at
I've
table
thrown
tennis.
him.
Yeah, you've thrown him. His confidence has dropped, and now he's not the same driver he used to be.
Well, that is possible, but you know what? It's a team. It's a team race, and that's what I'm going to focus on, Steph, because for a team, they picked up maximum points so far. That's 2 points, and they are guaranteed that wildcard spot tomorrow. Overall, impressed with Aston Martin getting that win?
Absolutely. And you know what? You could even say that Biancolila was helping the team by keeping Sheehan and Sean Arnold occupied.
Got you.
So that they couldn't actually attack Alejandro Sanchez. I just thought of that.
That's very good. That's reverse psychology in a way. It's mind games. You said before we went to it, it is mind games that I like. Should we worry about Simon Weigang? And I'm just making a speculative story.
About what?
I should worry about, you need as a team to be firing on all cylinders. They've got the job done, but will they take their foot off the gas right now and allow Team Fordzilla back in? They've done what they needed to do, guarantee their wildcard place tomorrow.
I don't think we need to worry too much about him. Yeah, OK, there was the penalty that I'm sure the team will discuss and they'll figure out what went wrong and not to do it again. But I don't think we need to worry about him too much. We've seen so many times with this series that as long as you've got one driver who is out and out winning and in the front, all you need is somebody to finish in P4. So if he can do that job for the team and just back them up in a 4th position, then they're going to be happy.
I love Spa. I also love the team that I'm working with. Everyone, in fact, actually. I love Spa so much, so we're going to have a quick break, and when we come back, that's where we're heading. We are halfway through our first matchup of the day. So glad you could join us for this action in Group B of the V10R League. Currently, provisionally, adjudication is still going on. Aston Martin have a 2-0 lead over Team Fordzilla. We raced in Silverstone and the team relay and in the team race, and oh, it was close. Alejandro Sanchez had pole and remained as your winner in the race. That's what it means to him, and that's great that it's not just Manuel Biancalila leading the Aston Martin team. We always talk about the captain of the team pushing the team on. However, we now fly over to Spa-Francorchamps. You might be going there this year. Hayden, you've been to Spa.
I have.
Beautiful.
And I am going there
Tom,
this year
you've
as well.
been to a spa.
Yeah, thank you very much. I have been to a spa. However, that has no sort of bearing on this spa. But I feel like you've got to be calm, you've got to be relaxed, and that's what a spa does to you. Just to confirm the provisional results at the moment, it is 2-0, but that confirms the team race results. Aston Martin picking up 17 points versus Team Fordzilla's 9 points. Now, little fact here, when it comes to Spa, which we're heading to now, Team Fordzilla haven't won any points at Spa this year. Today could change that. It's positive mental attitude, right?
Yes, I mean, they've only won 1 point, so which track was that at, do you know?
I'm going to say it was Silverstone. I'm just going to hazard... No, I think it was Abu Dhabi. I feel like it was Abu Dhabi. It's either Abu Dhabi or Silverstone. I know that much. All right, we head to Spa. What do we need to know? It's steep at times, inclines, fast and slow corners. It's got a bit of everything, right, Steph?
Yeah, and it's long, over 7 kilometres. That is a lot of corners and a lot of opportunities to make mistakes, which is, it's an interesting one. So they're going to have to be clean all the way through.
OK, clean all the way through at Spa. Here we go then. Aston Martin, Team Fordzilla. We head down to Spa. Come on, Hayden, give us a bit of positive. Give us something to hold on to. Team Fordzilla, what do they need to do in the team relay? Not Joker at the same time as your other opposition?
And
yes,
not get sent into space like the Red Bull team did a couple of weeks ago. So that's what we'll be hoping for. The lights are on. The engines are revving and we are going racing here in Spa-Francorchamps. It's Team Fordzilla versus Aston Martin. Biancalila on your right with Chehan on your left. It's Chehan who gets the run into the first corner, but Biancalila is going to tuck up right behind that Fordzilla car. Get the slipstream as they go down the hill now through Eau Rouge, back up the top, over through Radion, and now try and overtake him down the Kemmel straight in towards Lecombe. Can he get the move done? He's going to pull out of that slipstream over to the outside. No, Fordzilla still holding the line. Some great top-end speed from that car, and Biancalila can't do anything to get past for the time being. I'm very surprised by that. I'm
also very surprised. The slipstream that you get going through Eau Rouge, Radion and onto the Kemmel Straight is usually fantastic. Like you said, we saw a few weeks ago a bit of contact because the Mercedes of Jarno Opmeer did not realise his own speed and crashed into Liam Parnell, I believe it was, and sent into the stratosphere. So I'm a bit surprised that we didn't see a move pulled off there, but Biancalila is maintaining right on the back of Emre Cihan right there, and it could be that we see both of these drivers take a joker lap. Interesting.
Yeah, I'd expect them both to maybe take it or be the priority to take the joker lap, whether they do change tactics based on what the other one does. But Biancalila maybe now saving his battery to go for an easier overtake right now through Blanchimont up the inside, and Aston Martin take back the lead. But Chehan is not giving up yet. He's going right around the outside through the bus stop chicane. Get the inside line if he can keep his nose there. He cannot. And it is Biancalila who comes out on top. Chehan darts into the pits. They're changing their tactics this time around. And now we get to watch a beautiful qualifying lap from Biancalila.
Oh, that's absolutely fantastic. We've seen a change in tactics. We've got some strategy coming into play, and as we ride on board with Manuel Biancalila heading through Eau Rouge, Radion and onto the Kemmel Straight, you can see just how much speed this car carries through that set of corners, the most iconic set of corners, arguably, of all tracks in all racing history, who knows? But it's a very, very clean and tidy lap right now from Manuel Biancalila, and it's all working for him. We've just got to wait and see how well the pits will have gone on Team Fordzilla's side, whether they will have been able to claw some time back and emerge ahead of the Aston Martin team.
No regard for track limits through Jeff Corner as he heads down in towards Pouon now, heading down into the left-hander and really absolutely sending it. This is qualifying to the max now for Bianchi. He's just not going to be worried at all about what Team Fordzilla are doing. He's going to get his head down and really go for it, tucking back over through the left, using all the track on the right-hand side on the exit, getting it down through Stavolo, now back on the throttle. Keep it really tight. Don't let the car drift out too far on the exit because there is a barrier out there waiting for you. Now back on the power all the way through Blanchimont. A slight kink to the left here and then a proper corner for the second one. Send it through there and then into the bus stop chicane as he's going to get hard on the brakes now, flick it through the right and then keep it over to the right-hand side as he darts into the pit lane. He has done his job. He has set 2 laps for the Aston Martin team, and now we're riding back on board with Team Fordzilla. It is Sean Arnold at the wheel at the moment as they head down in towards Rivage, keeping it nice and tight on the inside. Don't want to let the car get out too far on the left-hand side. You want to get back over to the right to set yourself up for the no-name corner and then heading down in towards Pouon. Now, this corner is just such commitment. You've got to throw it into the left, hope that it sticks, and try not to lose the back end.
Yeah, hoping for the best the whole way through this lap, really. And it looks like a very good lap from Sean Arnold. There is around about just under a 70-second gap between himself and Alejandro Sanchez. That's about the time in the pits, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong.
70 seconds?
Yeah.
It is 70 seconds.
There you go.
Someone was listening earlier.
I know. I mean, I guess your facts are rubbing off on me. Thank you very much. But yes, as you can see, very, very tidy lap. Alejandro Sanchez is in the Aston Martin, ready to emerge for their second lap as we head into the bus stop chicane. And it's going to be the Joker lap for Sean Arnold.
Here we go then. Will Team Fordzilla get the jump on Aston Martin? Sanchez in the car at the moment. He is currently still in the pit lane. Arnold's got the jump, but Sanchez is there. But Arnold is going to get a great run out of that first corner. He's going to get the drive, and if he can get up to speed quick enough in the slipstream, maybe, just maybe, he can go on the attack of Sanchez. But the gap just looking a little bit too big at this stage. 9/10 of a second. Sanchez, we can see him going down in towards the con. Will we see a Fordzilla car dart out? No, we don't. And that lap from Bianchi was exactly what they needed to hold on to the lead.
Absolutely. As you can see, the gap between both drivers has extended around about 0.3 of a second, 0.4. So Manuel Bianchi was finding time in all around his lap and in all of the corners and pushing the car to the absolute limits. Unfortunately, Fordzilla did not weren't able to capitalise on the different strategies, but still one more pit stop to go. And anything can happen.
Anything can happen, and will it? We'll have to wait and see. The gap now 1.3 seconds between Sanchez and Arnold. Both drivers will be coming into pits at the end of this lap, switching over to their teammates, and then they will both be going for it to try and see who can take the point in this relay race. Sanchez through Blanchimont now, heading down into the bus stop chicane. He's managed to get that gap to 1.5 seconds as he's going to be heading over and handing over to Sanchez. We've got Arnold making a very tight entry there into the pit lane, and they've already crossed the limiter line, which means the 70 seconds on the clock starts now. Into the pits. Tell their teammate they're out of the car, get back in the car, and then once they're in, they've got to wait and try and time it to perfection because they can't just go and hope for the best. They need to do the practice on the pit stop exits, and there's a slight kink to the left. So for the Fordzilla car, they're going to have to maybe try and reverse and get the car set up so they don't lose that time on traction because the pit exit line is literally right in front of them.
There you go. So taking team strategy calls from Hayden here. He's giving you all the tips, Fordzilla. You can't be getting this one wrong. So when they entered the pits, it was just over a second between the both of them. It's going to be a very, very close one as we exit the pits. But I think, do you think Fordzilla can do it?
There's a big gap at the moment. I don't see it happening unless anything happens in the pit stop phase. But it is a long lap. Plenty of chances to make mistakes. Peo Pieve in the car. Simon Weigang also in the car for Aston Martin. We're waiting on those cars driving out of the pit lane to see who is going to get the jump on each other. Where is that Aston Martin car? We can hear the Fordzilla car revving. There goes the Aston Martin of Simon Weigang. And there goes Peo Pieve. No mistakes in the pit stop phase. And Aston Martin still ahead, and by 2.2 seconds.
I know, you say no mistakes, but it's clear that Aston Martin are just better at getting this pit stops down, because POP 2.2 seconds behind. You can't even see Simon. Oh, there you go. He's in the distance there on the Kemmel Straight. He's so far behind, and there was obviously a little bit of closing in there from POP, who had dipped into the slipstream of the Aston Martin ahead of him. But unfortunately, 2.2 seconds, it is a big gap. But over the course of a 7 kilometre lap, it is a little bit of time, but it's extending further. As you can see, POP must have made a slight error there, as the gap has extended to 2.8 seconds. And really, it's just going to be a clean lap from Simon Weigang. That's going to be all he needs in order to secure Aston Martin the win in the relay race around Spa-Francorchamps.
And again, Simon Weigang looking so calm, so composed in the bottom right-hand corner of your screens. He's got about one sector left to go of this race to take the victory and make it 3-0 in this head-to-head between Aston Martin and Fordzilla. Unfortunately for POP, he's just not been on the pace. 3 seconds is the gap now, as we see a great side profile of POP in the bottom left-hand corner of your screens. But Simon Weigang, through the last corner, will take victory in the team relay race for Aston Martin. Team Fordzilla had a little bit of pace at the start, did get ahead of Aston Martin, but Biancalila and that lap got them the lead once again, and it is the point for Aston Martin. Back to you, Tom Deacon.
Oh, full name. Middle name is Holmes, if you wanted to know for the next throw there, Hayden. Yeah, maybe next time. I like it. This is an exciting day. It is shaping up beautifully. Unfortunately, couldn't be going any worse for Team Fordzilla. However, they're still in this fight and could potentially pick up a team race win at Spa. That's where we're racing right now, Spa-Francorchamps. And a great job by Manuel Biancalila, Alejandro Sanchez and Simon Weigang, picking up so far, before adjudication, a 3-0 win at the moment. And they can add to that. They can make it a 4-0, which has not happened all of this season. They've had a 3-0 win against Red Bull, and they've had a 2-1 win, and they've also had a 3-0 loss. So this could be the first clean sweep for Aston Martin, and they got off to a pretty, well, it's slow by accounts that Sian was in the lead, but after that, Manuel Biancalila got the push, got the edge on Sian, and didn't really look back.
Yeah, I think Biancalila was just kind of holding off because he knew he was going to do the Joker lap. And if Chehan did do the Joker lap as well, there's the potential for him to overtake him he's got 2 laps to overtake him. Or he was saving that push to pass button and really just burnt it down through Blanchimont. And when Chehan had already used it on the Kemmel Straight, it was an easy overtake. So great tactics there from Biancalila.
Yeah, and they did mix it up a little bit, didn't they, Team Fordzilla? Instead of Sian doing the Joker lap and Biancalila at the same time, he gave you guys a little bit more time to actually watch some action rather than be talking in the pit lane.
Absolutely, yeah, and that action was great. I think this was one of the more exciting relay races that we've seen, with that action from Biancalila on that first lap, and then, oh, will they, won't they get out?
Love it.
Who's going to be ahead? Oh, fantastic.
All right, well, team race is coming up. We'll have that, all of the action for you after we come back from the break. This is the V10R League. We are currently watching Aston Martin taking on Team Fordzilla. Provisionally, it is 3-0 to Aston Martin. But Team Fordzilla, do not throw in the towel yet. There's still a chance for you to pick up a point in the team race. And I'm all for Team Fordzilla. My favourite car when I was growing up as a kid was the Ford Escort XR3i in white. Always wanted one.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, Hayden. I'm just
your
throwing out
childhood.
facts today, you know, just to give you an idea of who I am as a person, you know?
So that's the sort of present you're expecting?
Yes,
Yeah,
if that could happen, that would be beautiful. So we just saw there the 3-0, currently, provisionally, as it stands, for Aston Martin. We're going to be racing again in Spa, this time 6 cars on the track. It's going to be, it's a real opportunity for Team Fordzilla to say goodbye to Season 3 with a win. That's what, if you were the coach right now, the team principal, you'd be saying, look, guys, let's just get this one win under the belt, and then we've got 2 for the season.
Yeah, I would be saying that.
Yeah.
I would be saying that. You've got to hype them up. Whether that's going to happen is a different story. This is the track that Aston Martin picked, so they are going to be stronger, as you can see that Biancalia is there in on pole position.
Yeah, he's in pole position. Sian is, I guess, I'd say probably the team captain of Team Fordzilla. A real chance to push Biancalia, but we know when Biancalia normally starts on pole, he finishes in first place. Simon Weigang, no penalties for him, so he will be starting in 3rd. Maybe there's an opportunity for Weigang to show what he's all about.
Yeah, potentially if you can jump Chehan at the start, then who knows. We're going racing right now, though. The lights are coming on. The engines are revving in Spa-Francorchamps, and we are going racing. It's Biancalia from pole position, and looks like he's had an absolutely fantastic start. The back end getting out all over the place on Chehan. A little bit of contact there. Simon Weigang, I think, in the middle of 2 Team Fordzilla cars. He's going wheel to wheel as they go down through the hill in towards Eau Rouge. He tucks up just ahead of Arnold. Simon Weigang into P2, but can he hold it? Because Arnold is going to have some great straight line speed and slipstream as they go down in towards the com. Arnold ahead at the moment, or are they side by side? No, he is ahead. Weigang has to tuck behind and settle for 3rd position. Chehan dropping down to 4th after a little bit of contact and just couldn't get the power down off the start. And Peeve is in 5th with Sanchez. Not a good start in P6. Let's have a look at a replay and see exactly what happened at that start. So off the line, look for the Fordzilla car on the right-hand side, just really losing the throttle, going left, right, left, and that lost him a lot of ground. Simon Weigang up the inside. There was actually a little bit of contact between, I think that was Peeve and Sanchez behind, and also managed just to take a little bit off the rear end of, so here we go, Sanchez into, no, it was his own teammate who just tagged the back there of Chehan, and unfortunately for them, that is what cost him and moved him down into 4th position. What a crazy start.
That was absolutely insane, but all 6 drivers still all to play for, but Biancalia is just extending that gap, as we know he does. As soon as he starts on pole position, gets clean air, 1.8 seconds ahead of Sean Arnold, who is there in P2. Great start from him as well, as we can see that, there is a bit of tangling between an Aston Martin and Fordzilla, and that is Simon Weigang and Emre Sihan, who just had a little bit of a tussle there and swapping around. So Simon Weigang really losing out, and there's a little bit more contact going into La Source there, with Simon Weigang trying to come back at Emre Sihan, but it's not quite happening. Or is it going to happen going up Eau Rouge and Radion? He's right on the back of him, and going into the Kemmel Straight, he's really going to have that slipstream. Is he going to? He's having a little look edgeways, and is he going to pull out? Yeah, so he's going to pull out to the outside, but is he going to be able to make it stick going into Le Com? And there's a little bit more contact, and he's going wide, hit the runoff area, but he makes the move stick, and he's back up into P3.
I'm sure there's going to be some investigation going on into that one as Simon Weigang cuts back across the corner and gets himself back into P3. I was surprised. I was expecting Weigang to go on the attack of Arnold, but in fact, it is in fact Chehan, who just seems a little bit quicker than Simon Weigang, but now that has allowed Alejandro Sanchez, after he has dealt with POP, to go on the attack of Chehan. The gap at the moment about 0.6 of a second, but Chehan looking a little bit quicker. Fordzilla slightly faster here at Spa-Francorchamps, which is surprising, seeing as that is the track that Aston Martin chose in this head-to-head, as we've still got Arnold 1 second now ahead of Weigang. Chehan 1 second behind Weigang, whereas you've got Sanchez 7 tenths. So it looks like the closest battle on track is actually the battle for the wooden spoon. Sanchez versus Peo Pive, 4 tenths of a second between those two drivers. And for now, it looks like the gap's just separating a little bit at the moment.
Wow, battle for the wooden spoon. I've never heard that before. What's that, P6? Last place?
Indeed, it is, yes.
Well, thank you. You learn something new every day as we head on to lap 3 of this round. Of this team race around Spa-Francorchamps. We've got Simon Weigang, who is just pushing to try and catch up to Sean Arnold in P2. It's not quite happening right now, just over a second between the both of them. But Biancalia, very, very calm, cool and collected out in front. As you can see, look how far behind everybody else is. He's very cool and collected, 2.4 seconds ahead of P2 Sean Arnold, who I think is quietly having actually a really, really good match today, actually. I think Sean Arnold has been very, very strong for Team Fordzilla.
Yeah, I'm really surprised by that. Like I said, I expected Weigang to go on the attack of Arnold. Arnold qualifying lower down compared to Weigang and Chehan, but it seems like he's got the race pace and is managing to extend that gap over Weigang. Not really seemed like he's been that under threat. And but Biancalia, for him, he has really been one of the stars of this series. A little blip in the last race where he was down in 4th position, but has really showed his form here today as he is leading the way at the moment. 2.7 seconds the gap over Arnold. Weigang just flirting with that 1 second gap between himself and Arnold at the moment. Chehan, of course, also 1 second between those two. And unfortunately for Peo Pive, looks like a mistake somewhere on his race as he's dropped down. He was very close to the back of Sanchez, but now the gap is 1.5 seconds between those drivers. Over the halfway stage now of this race as we head on to lap 4 out of lap 6. Biancalia setting the fastest lap of the race in the 1:42.5s. And Arnold cannot compete with that at the moment. But Weigang and Chehan now starting to look like maybe, just maybe, they can catch up, we can have a battle at the end.
Potentially, I mean, we've still got a good few laps, and like we've said, Spa, really long circuit, over 7 kilometres, many, many overtaking opportunities, and we are seeing one of those opportunities right now. The Kemmel Straight drivers can catch up to each other, and do you know what? Something we haven't spoken about this race is the push-to-pass button. Will all the drivers have used it all already, or will they be saving some of that push-to-pass, some of that extra horsepower to use towards the end of the race, since they're a little bit closer on as we ride on board with Alejandro Sanchez, who is closing in a little bit on Emre Sihan. But unfortunately, it's a tale of 2 tracks for Alejandro. So quick around Silverstone, on top form, down in P5 today, not really being able to close any of the gaps and make any moves stick.
Yeah, he's stuck at that about 7-8 tenths of a second gap behind Chehan. Did get really unfortunate at the start to be caught up in the incident and drop down to the back of the field, but has done well to sort of get himself up past Peo Pive, but just sort of stuck in his train at the moment. Weigang, though, is starting to move closer to Arnold. 6/10 of a second between those guys. Although he doesn't need to worry about fighting. He can quite happily settle for P3, take home the points for the team. And of course, all he needs to do is make sure that he is in 4th position to guarantee those points for Aston Martin. But knowing Mr. Weigang, I know that he is going to be trying to push as much as possible to try and get that P2. He won't settle for 3rd position. He's surely going to go for the overtake and see if he can get 2nd behind his teammate. Gap now 5 tenths of a second, really starting to reel him in this race. It's Weigang versus Arnold. You've also got Sanchez versus Chehan at the back there, and they're going to be fighting similar gaps between the two.
Yes, and I think, to be fair, that we're going to have one hell of a final lap to this race. Just the drivers going to be closing in those gaps during this lap 5, during this penultimate lap of this team race around Spa. But I think it's going to be very, very close as we head on to those final laps. As you can see, those gaps holding quite firm, with the drivers just looking left, right, seeing if they can make a move stick. Well, it could be a dive bomb at this point. The 6-7 tenths of a second, a bit too far away to make a move stick. But the drivers looking confident, putting pressure, and I think that's something that we should talk about, is the fact that, you know, these Aston Martin drivers are putting a lot of pressure on Fordzilla right now as we ride on board with Simon Weigang Vaegang. Just look how much closer they are, just 0.3 of a second between him and Sean Arnold ahead of him as we come towards the end of the lap into Sector 3. And it looks like we could be in for a very spectacular and fireworky final lap.
Yeah, it's very difficult when you've got a driver behind filling your mirrors and just trying to stay composed, carry on with the rhythm that you're doing and try not to focus on them too much. He's got a nice gap at the moment. It's not enough for Vaegang to maybe send one up the inside, but a great run there through the bus stop chicane to get Vaegang, the driver, move him about 0.3 of a second behind Arnold at the moment, going through the first corner of Le Source. And now heading down the hill in towards Eau Rouge. 0.4 is the gap. It looks like Team Fordzilla maybe a little bit faster in a straight line at the moment over the kink of Radion and then through this right-hander, then down the Kemmel straight and into Le Common. It looks like Fordzilla, yeah, just a little bit quicker on the straights, but Vaegang has nothing that he can do, and unfortunately the best opportunities to overtake are at the end of long straights. So it's going to be difficult here for Vaegang to maybe go for an overtake. But look at that. Chehan now 0.6 of a second back behind Vaegang. You've also got Sanchez in this battle as well. And they've really closed in for a last lap fireworks, like you said, to have a really good battle here in Spa-Francorchamps. I mean, Bianchi has just driven away with this one. Nearly 5 seconds the gap, showing just how quick of a driver he is. We've got Arnold in second place, but now Vaegang 0.4, still 0.3 now. The gap between these two drivers as they head through the last couple of corners in towards Stavelot. And it's going to be Arnold leading the way. Can Vaegang do anything through Blanchimont? Will he take tactics from his teammate? Bianchi hold that push to pass button, use it now and try and go for an overtake down into the bus stop chicane. But of course he doesn't want to get it wrong and lose that third position. But Chehan so close now to the back of Vaegang. Can he go for the overtake? Vaegang late on the brakes, but it's going to be Bianchi who takes the race win for Aston Martin. Arnold manages to secure second position across the line with Vaegang third, Chehan in fourth, Sanchez in fifth and Peo Pive in sixth, making it a 4-0 clean sweep for Aston Martin, and they are going to be very, very happy with that one indeed. And for the last time in this show, handing back to you, Tom Holmes Deacon.
Oh, love it. He's gone for the full name, Tom Holmes Deacon. He could have gone Thomas, but he didn't. But listen, we're not here to discuss all my names. We are here to discuss Aston Martin getting a 4-0 clean sweep provisionally. Let's be very clear, adjudication will go on behind the scenes, but we see those three stunning drivers in front of us, Manuel Bianchi, Alejandro Sanchez and Simon Vaegang, just showing that although they got a loss in week 1 against Team Redline in Group B, they have gone on to get a 3-0 win and then a 2-1 win against Mercedes, and now they have a clean sweep over Team Fordzilla with a 4-0. First time this season, did not drop a point. They have been very, very impressive indeed. Manuel Bianchi led from the front to here in Spa, and I said it, I tried to jinx him with the commentator's curse. You know, you start in pole, he'll go on to win, but he did just that. Emre Sian coming into a little bit of a collision with Simon Vaegang, and I agree with Steph Wentworth. Sean Arnold has been very impressive, so cause for optimism for Season 4 with Team Fordzilla. But I've got Steph Wentworth and Hayden Gullis standing right next to me over in a different area of the Gfinity Arena. It was clinical from Aston Martin, Steph. They got the job done. I would imagine, whoever they're going to go against in the wildcard should be a little bit nervous about them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they played this to perfection. They did exactly what they needed to do. It's going to be a real confidence boost as well, going into the wildcard, knowing that they've just done a Grand Slam, a complete win, knocked Team Fordzilla off the podium, not even on the podium to begin with, but they've completely knocked them aside. So yeah, very positive for Aston Martin. I'm assuming they're going to be very pleased with themselves.
Yeah, very pleased indeed. As a team, though, they got that very convincing 2-1 win against Mercedes. That will give them all the confidence. And other teams know they can't just focus on Manuel Biancalila because Alejandro Sanchez got a brilliant win in Silverstone today.
He did. I think they've got a great team dynamic there. And, of course, the victory over Mercedes. They've kind of just grown over the series, haven't they? Because the first ones didn't really go too well. They lost to Red Line, and then there was a battle with Red Bull that seemed quite close. And then the victory against Mercedes, we were all shocked by it. Now 4-0 clean sweep. So maybe they are, moving themselves up into one of these insane teams. And we could see a great battle for the fight for who goes to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, so Spa had the team race. We just watched it just now. And just to confirm those race results, we can do just that. Biancalila started in pole, and he picks up a full 10 points. Arnold finished in second place, Weigang in third, Cian in fourth, Sanchez in fifth, and Pieve bringing up the rear. Yeah, he picks up a point there, so fair play to him. Here it is then, 4-0 win for Aston Martin against Team Fordzilla. That'll give them just the confidence they need. At the beginning of the day, we were thinking, hey, can Aston Martin put pressure on the top two? And the top two being Mercedes and Team Red Line with a 4-0 win, and they did just that. Cause for concern for those other teams, Team Red Line, one of them, or Mercedes, are going to get the automatic qualification to go to Abu Dhabi, but whoever is left there, they're a team to look out for, Aston Martin.
Yeah, I mean, Aston Martin put themselves on 9 points now, so that leapfrogs Mercedes. So it's all up to Mercedes. They need to get at least 2 points from that battle up against Team Red Line later on, and then that will move them into ahead, because you want to make sure you're ahead. You want to be second place in your group if you're not first. But of course, they're not going to be worried about Aston. They're going to be thinking about the other team and trying to secure that automatic spot.
I like it. One thing I do like is taking on esports drivers at ping pong, table tennis, whiff waff, if you will excuse me. And that man right there who I beat the other day, it wasn't an official game, Manuel. But listen, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about how the fact you've secured that wildcard place. Good feelings right now?
Well, I'm stressed, but yeah, all good here.
Yeah, and obviously we discussed it last week, and we were talking about how you were going to approach this. Your first 4-0 clean sweep. As a team, that must be really giving you that confidence boost.
Yeah, of course. Well, we were aiming for it, and we finally succeeded. So it's going to be nice to know who we are going to fight tomorrow.
Yeah, and just a quick question, Manuel. Alejandro Sanchez got a win ahead of you. How are you going to have a word with him and say, look, that's my job, I win the races?
No, he deserved it, so it's fine for him.
Listen. Grazie mille. Ciao. We'll speak to you later on. And best of luck and congratulations on your 4-0 win, Manuel.
Thanks. Ciao tutti.
Yeah, there you go. Ciao. What did he say at the end there? Ciao tutti. All right. OK, I'll Google that in a minute. Manuel, he seems very confident. Doesn't mind Alejandro getting that win. It is a team race. Simon Weigang has performed very well as well. So they're going to be very confident.
Yeah, it shows really well that he's not too worried about another teammate winning races, and that's a good team dynamic. They want to build, they want to work together. And it's always good that if maybe you have a slip-up or somebody takes you out, that you have someone else in your team to take over from that and still get the job done.
Now we are standing, Steph, Hayden. Let's have a look at the standings. See what I did there. Great, seamless link. No one noticed. Group B, you can see Team Red Line at top with 10 points. Aston Martin now, after that 4-0 clean sweep, move up to second with 9 points. And Mercedes in third. And as you can see, Red Bull, Team Fordzilla, right at the bottom. But the last race of the day, coming up at 8:30 tonight, Mercedes taking on Team Red Line. The elite two teams, we'd say. They've got something else, that extra specialness. You're looking forward to that race. Our next one today, Steph, is R8G versus Williams in Group A. That's going to be an exciting one.
They're all going to be exciting ones. You know, it's all to play for at the minute. These teams want to go to Abu Dhabi, so they're performing at the best level they possibly can. So it's going to be a real good fight. OK, we saw a kind of a clean sweep. Are we expecting that for the next one, R8G versus Williams, Hayden?
I think it's going to be a really close match. They're both fighting for that wild card spot, so I think it's going to be really exciting.
All right. OK, well, listen, Hayden got us. Steph Wentworth, thank you very much. And thank you very much to everyone here today watching. We'll be back in a very short amount of time for R8G taking on Williams. Cannot wait for it. You do not want to miss it.